Hi, Film Frenzy here, and today I'm going to talk about a movie that you've probably never heard of before. Korean movies are known to be masterpieces, but today's movie is different. It is full of mystery, so you may not understand anything at the beginning. But if you watch it till the end, everything will be clear. So let's get started. At the beginning of the movie, we see some people who were beating some children very badly, and a woman there tells them to hit the children on the head. Otherwise, they will not die. This woman is a scientist. She was basically experimenting on these children. Basically, the children were not under her control, which is why they were being killed. In the next scene, we see a little baby girl. She somehow escaped from there, and the girl's condition was so bad that she fainted in a field. On the other hand, a little baby boy is shown. He was also trying to run away behind the girl, but unfortunately, he gets caught. Then the scientist, whose name is Dr. Baek, says, "You couldn't catch this little girl?" Then his colleague, whose name is Mr. Choi, says, "This girl is no ordinary girl, and catching her is not so easy." Then Dr. Baek says, "No problem, she will die in a few days anyway." In the next scene, we see a gentleman who came to feed his farm cows in the morning. At that time, his eyes fall on the little baby girl. He quickly takes her to his house and heals her with necessary treatment. Actually, this couple came here from America and built a simple life. They have no children, so they adopted the girl as their own child. 10 years pass by in the blink of an eye. The girl has also grown up now. The girl's name is Jae-yoon. Jae-yoon now takes care of her father's farm. Because her father has grown old and can no longer do any work like before, her mother is also very ill now. She forgets everything easily. One night while eating, Jae-yoon's father tells Jae-yoon that they should sell some cows. Actually, her father was not able to feed the cows properly due to financial problems. When Jae-yoon goes to sleep at night, she gets a terrible headache. She had this problem since she was a child, but she never told anyone anything. The next day, Jae-yoon is seen with her friend Myung-gi. Myung-gi's father is a local police officer. He has a good friendship with Jae-yoon's father. Then Jae-yoon and her friend leave for school by bus. Myung-gi tells Jae-yoon, "Don't you need money?" Then Jae-yoon jokingly says, "Why? Will you give me money?" Then Myung-gi shows her an advertisement where 30 lakh rupees will be given as prize money. Jae-yoon did not want to miss this opportunity because she needed a lot of money. Because due to lack of money, her father decided to sell the cow. Then they go to audition for that competition, and luckily Jae-yoon gets selected there. And this whole audition is broadcast on TV. Jae-yoon's parents are very happy to see her performance, but at the very end, Jae-yoon shows a little magic, which makes her parents very worried, because this magic show will reveal Jae-yoon's real truth in front of everyone. So her parents are so worried. Her parents forbid her to show such magic. That night, Jae-yoon's headache starts again. Whenever her head hurts, blood comes out through her nose. The next day, they leave for the competition. As soon as they get on the train, Myung-gi takes out some boiled eggs from her bag and starts eating. Seeing their condition, the boy sitting in front starts laughing a lot. The boy's name is Nobleman. Jae-yoon finds his laughter strange and asks him, "Do you know me?" Nobleman then tells her, "Yes, I know you very well, and you know me too." Hearing such words from the man, Jae-yoon gets very nervous and says to him, "I don't know you. You are mistaking me for someone else." Nobleman doesn't believe Jae-yoon's words at all. Instead, he tries to slap her for acting. But Jae-yoon sat quietly without giving any reaction. This surprised Nobleman, and he said to Jae-yoon, "I can't believe how you can forget everything." Jae-yoon gets very nervous and starts crying in this whole matter. Seeing this, Myung-gi tells Nobleman to leave and starts calling people. While leaving, Nobleman tells Jae-yoon, "I will meet you very soon." Saying this, when Nobleman was leaving from there, he collided with a man. And focusing on this small matter, Nobleman kills that man and throws him off the train. Who is this Nobleman and why did he come to Jae-yoon, we will know in the middle of the story. Meanwhile, Jae-yoon and her friend reach their competition hall. They are very late to reach. Anyway, they start the show in a hurry. And this whole show is being broadcast live, due to which Dr. Baek, whom we saw at the beginning of the movie, sees Jae-yoon and says, "This is the girl who escaped from the lab." Because the magic she has shown is not possible for any ordinary human being to do. Then his colleague Mr. Choi says to him, "You said that girl will not live long. Where will she come from now?" And Dr. Baek says, "Yes, I said that, but sometimes there are things that happen beyond our imagination." Meanwhile, Jae-yoon's performance is so good that she gets selected for the final competition. In this happiness, the two of them were coming out laughing. Just then Jae-yoon's head. Again, that terrible pain starts. And then we are shown a previous scene where the doctor was telling Jae-yoon, "You have only 1 to 2 months left in your hands. If you don't get a bone marrow transfer from your real parents, you will die." The incident returns to the present, where Jae-yoon and her friend are standing for a taxi to go home. Some people came and asked Jae-yoon and her friend to go with them. When Jae-yoon refused, they tried to force her. But before they could, Myung-gi took her into a taxi. Jin couldn't understand what was happening to her, why these strange events were occurring, and why everyone was mistaking her for someone else. As she waited for the bus, a black car stopped in front of her. The nobleman from before stepped out and told her that her bus wouldn't be coming today. He had seen a bus with a flat tire, and it was probably hers. He urged her to hurry home to save her parents, saying that they might die while she waited for the bus. Jin-yoon was distraught and ran towards her house, with Myung-gi following behind. Jin-yoon asked Myung-gi to call her father and tell him to come to their house immediately. However, Myung-gi's father couldn't understand what she was saying over the phone. When Jin-yoon reached home, she saw her father talking with Myung-gi's father. She was relieved to see them together. However, she scolded her father for the outside light being off. As the police officer, Do, was leaving, he told Jin-yoon that he had seen a black car with people who looked suspicious. He asked if she knew them. Jin-yoon replied that she didn't. Officer Do advised her to be careful and then left. Meanwhile, the nobleman and his companions went to a scientist's house and brutally killed him and his family. The nobleman displayed extraordinary superpowers. We then see Dr. Bayek talking to Mr. Choi. Dr. Bayek tells him that he should retire as the company has shut down its operations. He offers to sponsor Mr. Choi's trip to Europe. Mr. Choi asks about the girl, Jin-yoon. Dr. Bay says that he has put a lot of effort into her and can't let it go to waste. He is determined to bring her back at any cost. Mr. Choi warns him that it won't be easy and that he will never be able to control her. Mr. Choi then leaves, indicating that Dr. Bayek has fired him. In the next scene, Mr. Choi meets with the owner of another research company. The owner tells him that 2 of their scientists have been killed and asks if he knows anything about it. Mr. Choi replies that some people from the American headquarters had come, but he doesn't have any information. The owner asks about the condition of Mr. Choi's hand. Mr. Choi shows his hand, which is severely burned. The owner says that if they can get Jin-oh, they can fix his hand. He instructs Mr. Choi to bring him Jin-yoon's brain. Later, Jin-yoon experiences a severe headache while trying to sleep. She hears noises from her parents' room and goes to investigate. She is confronted by a man holding a knife to Myung-gi's throat. The man is the same one they had seen in Seoul. He asks Jin-yoon if she recognizes him, pointing to the scar on his cheek that she had given him. Jin-yoon insists that they have mistaken her for someone else. Just then, another man puts a knife to Myung-gi's throat. Jin-yoon snaps and transforms, brutally killing everyone in the room. She beats the man who had threatened Myung-gi beyond recognition, asking him if she wasn't the girl they were looking for. Myung-gi is terrified by Jin-yoon's sudden and violent transformation. The nobleman arrives and tells Jin-yoon that he knew she would do this, that she was different from everyone else. Jin-yoon asks them who they are and why they are doing this to her. The nobleman mocks her act, saying that he is impressed by her performance. He then asks Myung-gi if she finds anything strange. Myung-gi replies that she doesn't. The nobleman says that Jin-yoon does all the housework, takes care of her parents, excels in school, and yet never seems to study. He suggests that she could be the best at everything but chooses not to, as if she is hiding something. Jin repeats her questions, demanding to know who they are and why they are doing this to her. The nobleman says that since she doesn't remember anything, she will have to go with them, and then she will remember everything. He threatens to kill her parents, Myung-gi, and everyone she knows if she refuses. Jin reluctantly agrees to go with them. As they leave, the nobleman tells her that she had deliberately sought shelter with her adoptive family, knowing that they had lost their child and would easily adopt her. They take Jin-oh to a lab where she sees Dr. Bayek. Dr. Bayek expresses surprise that she is still alive. Jin asks him why they are doing this to her. Dr. Bayek tells her that she doesn't remember the events of that day, a terrible day when she had killed everyone in front of her after suffering a head injury. Jin-yoon insists that she doesn't remember anything. Dr. Bayek injects her with something to restore her memory, and Jin-yoon begins to recall her past. There, it is shown that experiments are being conducted on many children, including Jin-yoon, from a young age. Their brains are modified in such a way that they become much more powerful and violent. Jin-yoon was the most unique and powerful among them. Dr. Bayek says, "I created you all like this, but I couldn't control you in any way, which is why the company ordered you to be killed. The day you escaped, you became so dangerous that you killed everyone who came in front of you. You had so much power that we thought you would die from a brain hemorrhage by now. But you are still alive because you haven't overused your brain." Just then, Jin-yoon starts experiencing severe pain in her head, and so much blood starts flowing from her nose and mouth that it seems like she will die soon. Dr. Bayek tells Jin-yoon, "If you take the antidote right now, you will recover in no time, and this antidote is only available with me." By this time, Jin-yoon's condition deteriorates so much that she is about to die. Dr. Bayek mainly wants to bring Jin-yoon back under his control, so he gives Jin-yoon the antidote. After a while, he asks, "How are you feeling now?" Jin-yoon then mysteriously replies, "I'm feeling better than I expected." Dr. Bayek gets worried after hearing Jin-yoon's words. Meanwhile, the nobleman, after observing the whole incident, realizes that the whole thing was actually pre-planned by Jin-yoon. Actually, they didn't bring Jin-yoon here. Jin-yoon herself surrendered to them. Ji-yoon knew that the antidote to her illness was only available with Dr. Bakes, which is why she deliberately participated in the competition and started showing various magic tricks to get noticed by Dr. Bakes. And Ji-yoon deliberately pretended to forget everything so that Dr. Bake would give her the antidote to make her remember everything. Dr. Bake also understands this whole thing, but by then, it is too late. Dr. Bake gets angry and releases poisonous gas in the entire lab to kill Ji-yoon. But Ji-yoon kills everyone there and goes to Dr. Bake's chamber. She asks about the remaining antidote. When Dr. Bake refuses to tell her about the antidote, she shoots him in the leg. Then she drags him out of the lab. On the other hand, the nobleman starts coming towards Ji-yoon's lab. At the same time, Mr. Choi arrives there with his team, and the nobleman also starts firing indiscriminately at his companions. But nothing happens to the nobleman and his companions from these bullets. Meanwhile, the nobleman remembers his childhood when he sees Mr. Choi, where Mr. Choi catches him while escaping and brings him to headquarters. But the nobleman doesn't take any of this into account. He just moves towards Ji-yoon. Mr. Choi keeps following him, and Mr. Choi's men start fighting with the nobleman's men. At one point, the nobleman's men kill Mr. Choi's men, and only this girl among the nobleman's men survives. On the other hand, Ji-yoon injures Dr. Bake and was taking him with her to find the antidote. At the same time, the nobleman comes at a great speed and punches Ji-yoon, breaking the wall and sending her to another room. But these blows are like a breeze to Ji-yoon. Nothing happens to her. Instead, she grabs the nobleman and starts beating him mercilessly, and they have an extraordinary fight which cannot be explained. During their fight, Mr. Choi arrives there and starts firing indiscriminately at both of them. Dr. Bake is happy to see Mr. Choi and orders him to kill everyone. But Mr. Choi tells Dr. Bake that he doesn't have time to listen to his nonsense. Saying this, he shoots Bake first. Then Mr. Choi looks at Ji-yoon, but he can't see Ji-yoon there. In the blink of an eye, Ji-yoon comes behind Mr. Choi and kicks him to death on the spot. And then only Ji-yoon and the nobleman were alive. The nobleman tells Ji-yoon that if she can survive by fighting with the nobleman, then the nobleman will tell Ji-yoon the address of the antidote. When they were talking, the girl who was with the nobleman comes to attack Ji-yoon. But Ji-yoon instantly thwarts her attack and smashes her head and kills her there. And in this opportunity, the nobleman tries to kill Ji-yoon with the gun he had. But Ji-yoon stops it with her magic power and kills him with the gun. In the end, Ji-yoon takes her antidote and leaves from there and blows up the entire lab. After that, Ji-yoon reaches her house and sees that the police are investigating her house. When Ji-yoon comes to her parents, her father tells her that they already knew that Ji-yoon was a witch. After Ji-yoon came to their house, their farm cows started dying abnormally. Ji-yoon's father wanted to leave Ji-yoon somewhere far away, but Ji-yoon's mother disagreed and raised her like their own child. Ji-yoon leaves some of the antidote she has for her mother, but before leaving, Ji-yoon meets her friend Myung-yi and says goodbye to her for the last time and leaves from there. After that, a scene 3 months later is shown, where Ji-yoon is seen laughing with Dr. Bake's twin sister. And Ji-yoon says that she needs these antidotes permanently, mainly because the ones she has need to be given once a month. So she now wants a permanent antidote, and here the first part of the witch movie ends. So friends, how did you like today's video? If you liked it, then give it a like. And if you want to see the second part of this movie, please let us know in the comments. And yes, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Stay well everyone, bye bye.